Ladies and gentlemen, why does one face, one name, or one memory refuse to leave your mind? You wake up and they're there. You go about your day and they sneak into your thoughts. Even when you try to sleep, they pull up a chair in your dreams. Is it love, regret, or something deeper? I'll tell you something, these persistent thoughts are not random, they are trying to tell you something. This is not just about them, it's about you. Stay with me, because by the end of this speech, you'll know why they are always on your mind, what it means, and how you can use it to unlock a greater purpose in your life. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a calling. Let's uncover it together. The mystery of persistent thoughts about someone is one of the most intriguing aspects of the human mind. It's as though they've claimed a piece of your mental real estate, effortlessly weaving themselves into your daily life. But why? Why does this person linger in your mind even when you try to shift your focus? These persistent thoughts are rarely random. They are often the result of a deeper connection between your emotions, memories, and subconscious mind. Exploring this phenomenon reveals profound insights about your inner self and the unseen forces that shape your thoughts and experiences. At the core of these lingering thoughts is the idea that our minds are storytellers. They replay certain moments, gestures, or conversations, piecing them together in an attempt to find meaning. Perhaps this person said something that resonated with you, or maybe their actions left a lasting impression. The human brain has a way of spotlighting things it deems important, even if you don't consciously realize why. This process can be unsettling because it feels as though your thoughts are no longer entirely under your control. Yet it's in this very lack of control that the real story begins to unfold. Persistent thoughts often arise because of unresolved emotions. Whether it's admiration, guilt, longing, or even anger, these emotions act as anchors tying someone to your mind. You might replay moments with this person in an effort to resolve these feelings, even if they're no longer present in your life. This process isn't just a mental exercise, it's an emotional one. Your mind is working to process what your heart hasn't fully grasped. Sometimes these emotions are tied to questions, what if? Why didn't I? Could things have been different? These questions keep the person alive in your thoughts, like an open loop your mind is trying to close. Another layer to this mystery is the power of connection. Humans are inherently social creatures, and certain bonds are so profound they leave a permanent mark on your consciousness. This doesn't always mean you're romantically drawn to someone. It could be a deep respect, a shared experience, or even a fleeting encounter that had a significant impact. When a connection is strong, your brain recognizes it as meaningful and stores it in a place where it's easily accessible. You might not think about every acquaintance or colleague in your daily life, but the ones who resonate on a deeper level tend to stay with you. Memory also plays a crucial role. Our minds are wired to prioritize emotionally charged events, good or bad. If someone made you feel deeply, whether through love, kindness, betrayal, or hurt, their memory becomes amplified. Think of it like a song that reminds you of a specific moment. Every time you hear it, the emotions come flooding back. Similarly, someone who impacted you in a meaningful way becomes like a song that plays on repeat in your mind. It's not always about the person themselves, it's about the emotions they represent and the parts of your story they bring to life. The subconscious mind also has its part to play. Often the person you can't stop thinking about represents something larger, an unresolved issue, a dream you haven't chased, or even a reflection of qualities you see in yourself or want to develop. In this way, they act as a mirror, showing you aspects of yourself that might otherwise go unnoticed. For instance, if you admire their confidence, it could be because you're striving for that same quality. If you're frustrated by their actions, it might reflect a similar frustration within yourself. The subconscious mind is always working to make sense of these connections, and it uses the presence of this person in your thoughts to guide you towards self-awareness. Understanding this phenomenon isn't about dismissing these thoughts as irrelevant or overanalyzing them to the point of obsession. Instead, it's about listening to what your mind and heart are trying to tell you. Persistent thoughts are like signals. They're drawing your attention to something important. They might be asking you to address unresolved emotions, learn a lesson, or simply appreciate the connection for what it is. These thoughts can also serve as a source of inspiration. If this person evokes feelings of admiration or gratitude, let those feelings guide you. If they remind you of something you've lost, consider what you've gained from that experience. Even if the thoughts are painful, they have the power to teach you resilience and self-compassion. The mystery of why someone is always on your mind is a profound reminder of the complexity of human emotion and connection. It's not just about them, it's about you. Your thoughts are shining a light on areas of your life that deserve attention, growth, and reflection. Rather than fighting these persistent thoughts, embrace them as an opportunity to understand yourself more deeply. In doing so, you might just find that the answers you're seeking have been within you all along. The connection beyond the surface is a profound and often unspoken link between individuals that defies logic and explanation. It's the sense that someone is etched into your thoughts, not because of routine encounters or fleeting interactions, but because there's something deeper, something almost intangible that binds you to them. This connection is not always rooted in words, actions, or even proximity. It exists in a realm beyond the physical, touching the emotional, mental, and even spiritual planes of your being. It's the feeling that this person occupies a space within you, space that remains regardless of time or distance. At the heart of this connection is an invisible thread, one that ties your experiences, emotions, and energies together in a way that's uniquely meaningful to you. Sometimes it begins with shared experiences, a moment of understanding, a shared goal, or a situation that brought your lives together in a significant way. These shared experiences create a bond that resonates long after the events themselves have passed. It's not just about remembering the moments, it's about feeling their impact long after they've faded into memory. Yet, this connection often transcends shared moments. It reaches into the realm of emotions, where words fail and feelings speak louder than any conversation could. You might feel their joy as though it's your own, or carry their pain as if it's woven into your own struggles. This emotional connection goes beyond empathy. It's a merging of energies, a silent recognition of something familiar and comforting, or in some cases, something challenging and transformative. It's the unspoken understanding that their presence has shaped who you are, even in their absence. And such connections are not limited to relationships built over time. They can occur in an instant, in a brief meeting where something unexplainable clicks. It's as though your souls recognize each other before your minds even have the chance to process what's happening. This kind of connection doesn't require years of knowing each other. It exists on a level where time is irrelevant. These moments of recognition often leave you questioning their significance and wondering why this person lingers in your thoughts so profoundly. One of the most fascinating aspects of this connection is the role of the subconscious mind. Often these persistent thoughts about someone are not about them in isolation, but about what they represent to you. They may symbolize qualities you admire, challenges you need to overcome, or lessons you're meant to learn. In this sense, they act as a mirror, reflecting back to you aspects of yourself that you may not have fully acknowledged. Their presence in your mind can serve as a guide, drawing your attention to areas of your life that need growth or healing. It's also worth considering the spiritual dimension of such connections. For many, these bonds feel like they are part of something greater, something orchestrated by forces beyond our comprehension. Whether you view it through the lens of destiny, divine intervention, or the interconnectedness of all things, these connections often carry a sense of purpose. They feel like reminders that we are never truly alone, that our lives are intertwined with those of others in ways that are meaningful and profound. But these connections aren't always easy to navigate. Sometimes the presence of someone in your thoughts brings more questions than answers. You may wonder why you can't let go, why their memory persists even when it seems inconvenient or unnecessary. This inner conflict is a natural part of grappling with a bond that goes beyond the surface. It challenges you to dig deeper, to explore what this connection is trying to teach you. The connection beyond the surface is not just about the other person, it's about you. It's about the way they've impacted your life, the lessons they've taught you, and the ways they've helped you grow. Their presence in your thoughts is a reminder that every connection we form has the potential to shape us in profound ways. Whether it's a relationship that continues to evolve or one that has ended, the impact remains, urging you to reflect, to learn, and to embrace the growth that comes from these bonds. The beauty of such connections lies in their ability to transcend the ordinary. They remind us that life is not just a series of random events or encounters, but a tapestry of meaningful relationships and experiences. These connections enrich our lives, offering us moments of clarity, inspiration, and self-discovery. They challenge us to see beyond the surface, to embrace the complexity of human connection, and to appreciate the depth of the bonds we share with others. When someone occupies your thoughts, it's an invitation to explore what their presence means for your journey. It's a chance to honor the connection, to learn from it, and to use it as a stepping stone for your own growth. In the end, these connections remind us of the power of relationships to shape who we are and who we're becoming. The human mind is an intricate web of thoughts, emotions, memories, and associations, all of which work together to form the narrative of our lives. When someone occupies your mind persistently, it often signals the presence of unresolved feelings, whether conscious or subconscious, that are calling for attention. These emotions act as signals, directing your mind to focus on particular aspects of your relationship with this person, whether it's something you're trying to process or understand. Often, these unresolved feelings are the root cause of the continual thoughts about someone, and they persist because your subconscious is trying to work through them. This process can feel like an emotional loop that keeps playing in your mind, replaying moments and interactions, seeking a resolution that hasn't yet come. These feelings are easy to recognize: guilt, love, longing, or even anger, but at other times they remain buried beneath the surface, not fully understood. It might not be immediately obvious why this person keeps appearing in your thoughts, but upon deeper reflection, you may realize that these feelings are attached to things you haven't fully processed. Unresolved emotions, no matter how small or insignificant they seem in the moment, can create a mental space that this person occupies. It's like an unfinished conversation that your mind keeps returning to, trying to find closure or clarity. The more you try to ignore or suppress these emotions, the more they assert themselves in your mind, forcing you to confront them. This dynamic is especially evident when it comes to relationships, whether they are romantic, familial, or platonic. In many cases, the connection you share with someone can trigger powerful emotions that can't be easily dismissed. Perhaps a romantic partner said something that cut deep, or a close friend let you down in a way that left you questioning everything you thought you knew. Maybe there were things left unsaid, misunderstandings that linger, or even old wounds that have not yet healed. These unresolved emotions act like magnets, pulling your thoughts back to that person because your subconscious mind is trying to make sense of the emotional residue they left behind. It might feel frustrating or exhausting, but the continual thoughts aren't necessarily a bad thing. They're an invitation to explore these emotions and find healing. In many cases, unresolved feelings also point to areas within yourself that you have yet to explore. If you find yourself constantly thinking about someone who has hurt you or made you feel a certain way, it may reflect your own struggles with boundaries, self-worth, or even forgiveness. This person might be a mirror for your own unresolved issues or desires. Your thoughts might not just be about them, but also about the part of you that hasn't come to terms with the situation or the emotions it triggered. For example, if a person made you feel inferior or unappreciated, your mind may revisit those feelings repeatedly because they reflect a deeper insecurity within yourself. It's not about the person so much as it is about the internal work you have yet to do to resolve those feelings within yourself. In this way, persistent thoughts act as a reflection of your emotional landscape, guiding you to areas of personal growth that need attention. Sometimes the mind fixates on someone because they represent something you desire. This could be a quality you admire in them: confidence, kindness, ambition, or it could be an aspect of yourself that you feel is lacking. The reason you keep thinking about this person might be because they embody something that you long to incorporate into your own life. They might be a symbol of the version of yourself that you aspire to become. This could be particularly true if the person has achieved something you admire, or if their life is in alignment with goals you hold for yourself. In these cases, the person is less of a subject of obsession and more of a signpost directing you to the areas of your life where growth is possible. There's often a subconscious desire for closure or resolution that keeps the person in your thoughts. Sometimes the mind fixates on an individual because it feels that something important is left unresolved, and your mind continues to loop back to that person, trying to figure out what went wrong or what could have been different. These lingering thoughts aren't always about reliving the past, but rather about coming to terms with it. Closure is something many people seek, whether they are aware of it or not. The act of replaying moments, conversations, or actions in your mind is your subconscious trying to piece things together to find a sense of resolution. This desire for closure may push you to explore these feelings, whether by confronting the person directly or by finding peace within yourself through acceptance and understanding. Understanding that unresolved emotions are the reason why someone is always on your mind provides a powerful opportunity for growth. It shows that your mind and emotions are not static, they are dynamic and constantly working to help you process, learn, and evolve. The constant thoughts about someone are not a mere inconvenience, they are a window into your emotional life, revealing areas where you need to heal, learn, and grow. Rather than resisting these thoughts, it's important to lean into them and ask yourself what they are trying to teach you. Are you holding on to anger or resentment that needs to be released? Are there parts of yourself that you are neglecting or avoiding? The person in your thoughts might be a symbol, a catalyst, or even a teacher that is pointing you toward the emotional work that's needed for your growth. When you address these unresolved feelings, you allow yourself the space to heal, to release, and to ultimately move forward. By confronting these lingering thoughts with curiosity and self-compassion, you take an active role in your emotional development. The person who keeps appearing in your mind while still a presence in your thoughts no longer holds the same power over your emotional landscape. Instead of being stuck in a loop of unresolved feelings, you move toward closure and peace. In doing so, you free yourself from the hold these thoughts have on you, allowing your mind to find rest and clarity. Our subconscious mind is a powerful force influencing our thoughts, actions, and emotional responses in ways that often go unnoticed. It holds memories, beliefs, and feelings that we may not even be consciously aware of, yet these hidden aspects of our psyche shape our reality in profound ways. One of the most intriguing aspects of the subconscious is how it can bring certain people into our minds at unexpected times. You may find yourself thinking about someone you haven't seen in years or someone you've only met briefly. These persistent thoughts aren't just random, they can be deeply connected to the subconscious patterns, beliefs, and unresolved issues that we carry within us. When someone constantly occupies your thoughts, it's often a signal from the subconscious that there's something within you that is either unresolved or needs attention. Perhaps the person represents something that you feel is missing from your own life, or maybe they embody a part of yourself that you've neglected or suppressed. The person you think about might be serving as a mirror, reflecting parts of yourself that you have yet to acknowledge. This could manifest in many forms: qualities you admire and emotions you associate with them, or situations that still affect you on a deeper level. These recurring thoughts may not be about the person themselves, but rather about what they represent to you. Often these thoughts are tied to deeper emotional or psychological issues that need to be addressed. For instance, if you find yourself consistently thinking about someone who has caused you pain or disappointment, it's possible that the subconscious is trying to highlight unresolved anger, resentment, or a feeling of abandonment. These emotions can remain dormant in the background of your life, but the subconscious will bring them to the surface through the repetition of thoughts about this person. It's as though your mind is trying to bring these feelings to light so that you can process and heal them. By repeatedly focusing on this person, your subconscious mind might be guiding you to confront your unresolved feelings and work through them so you can move forward. It's important to consider that these persistent thoughts could be pointing to a deeper need for understanding or closure. When a relationship ends, whether amicably or not, there's often an emotional residue that we carry with us. If this person still occupies your mind, it could indicate that there are aspects of the relationship or interaction that you haven't fully processed. Maybe there was something left unsaid, or maybe a part of you feels there was no proper closure. Your mind may be asking for resolution. Closure doesn't necessarily mean you need to have a final conversation or resolve things with the other person. It can simply mean coming to terms with the situation in your own heart and mind, allowing yourself to heal from the emotional ties that remain. These thoughts can also be an invitation to reflect on your own emotional needs and patterns. Are you consistently thinking about someone who makes you feel unappreciated or unloved? Perhaps this person is embodying a certain behavior that triggers feelings of inadequacy or longing within you. The thoughts you have may point to something within you that requires nurturing. Your mind might be highlighting the fact that you need to set boundaries, learn to love yourself more, or recognize your worth outside of what others think of you. The persistent thoughts about someone could be a call to examine these deeper emotional needs and take action to fulfill them. On the flip side, you may find yourself thinking about someone who inspires you or who represents something you aspire to be. In these cases, your subconscious mind may be highlighting qualities or achievements that you admire and wish to incorporate into your own life. This person may symbolize goals, ideals, or aspirations that you feel are missing in your life. Your thoughts about them could be a reflection of your own desires to grow, evolve, or take action in certain areas of your life. Rather than being fixated on the person themselves, you may be subconsciously identifying them as a representation of what you want to achieve or become. These thoughts may serve as an internal nudge to get closer to your own goals, encouraging you to take action or cultivate the qualities that this person represents. The subconscious also plays a significant role in how we relate to others, and sometimes the thoughts that arise about someone reflect our own fears or insecurities. If you find yourself thinking about someone due to feelings of jealousy or inadequacy, this could be a sign that your subconscious is drawing attention to these emotions. It's not necessarily about the other person, but about what their actions, presence, or success may stir within you. This is an opportunity to examine your feelings of insecurity and work on cultivating self-compassion and confidence. By recognizing these patterns, you can begin to shift your mindset and stop comparing yourself to others. These thoughts may arise as part of your mind's attempt to reinforce certain beliefs or stories about yourself. If you have a belief about not being worthy of love, success, or happiness, your mind might focus on people who either confirm or challenge that belief. For instance, if you think you're unworthy of affection, your mind might bring up someone who makes you feel rejected or unimportant. Alternatively, if you believe you are destined for greatness, your mind might fixate on individuals who remind you of your potential. In both cases, the persistent thoughts about someone are closely tied to the stories and beliefs you hold about yourself, and by addressing these beliefs, you can change the way you perceive your life and relationships. Understanding that these persistent thoughts are not random or arbitrary, but are linked to your deeper subconscious processes can be incredibly enlightening. Rather than simply trying to push these thoughts away or wonder why they keep resurfacing, consider them as messages from your subconscious mind. They are trying to guide you toward areas of your life that need healing, attention, or growth. The person you think about may not be the focal point of the message. They may simply be a conduit, an external representation of what is happening within you. By exploring these recurring thoughts and looking at what they reveal about your own emotional landscape, you open the door to personal growth and self-awareness. This process of reflection allows you to release old patterns, heal from past wounds, and step into a future where you are more aligned with your true self. The recurring thoughts of someone in your mind often come with an underlying desire to connect with them in some way, whether it's to seek closure, resolve unresolved issues, or even rekindle a connection. Our brains are wired for connection, and when we think about someone frequently, it often reflects a deeper need for emotional intimacy, understanding, or validation. This need might not always be conscious, but it is deeply ingrained in our human nature to seek out relationships that provide us with emotional sustenance. These recurring thoughts could be a signal that you are missing something emotionally, whether it's love, support, or simply someone who truly understands you. It's a reminder from your subconscious that there is a void that needs to be filled. Sometimes the person who occupies your thoughts may not even be someone you are currently in contact with, but instead someone you had a meaningful connection with in the past. It might be a past lover, a close friend, or even a family member with whom you've lost touch. In these cases, the mind may fixate on them because they represent a time when you felt understood, loved, or accepted. Our minds naturally gravitate towards experiences that were emotionally significant, especially when we feel disconnected or isolated in the present moment. The thought of that person serves as a reminder of a time when your emotional needs were being met, even if circumstances have since changed. This longing for connection can create a powerful emotional pull, causing you to think about them often, even when you are trying to move forward with your life. In other instances, your mind may fixate on someone because of unresolved emotions tied to them. This could be someone who has hurt you, betrayed your trust, or caused you some form of emotional pain. These negative emotions often linger far longer than we anticipate, and the subconscious will keep bringing them up until they are addressed. The thoughts about this person may be triggered by something small or may resurface unexpectedly, but they are not random. They are part of a psychological process of reconciliation, your mind trying to come to terms with what has happened. These recurring thoughts indicate that you have not yet fully processed the emotional impact that person has had on your life. It's as though your subconscious is continually replaying the scenario, trying to find a way to make peace with it. Until you confront these unresolved emotions and allow yourself the space to heal, they will continue to resurface. The role of unresolved emotions in keeping someone in your thoughts also extends to feelings of regret or guilt. If you feel that you've made mistakes in a relationship, whether through neglect, miscommunication, or hurtful actions, these emotions can create a persistent mental loop. You might constantly think about this person because you feel the weight of your actions and your subconscious is asking you to address the guilt or regret. It's important to note that the thoughts may not always be about what the person did to you, but rather about your own role in the situation. These lingering feelings can be a reminder that you need to seek forgiveness, either from the other person or from yourself, to move forward. In some cases, the person who occupies your thoughts represents a particular aspiration or goal you have yet to fulfill. This might not be someone with whom you have an emotional connection, but rather someone who embodies qualities or achievements that you desire for yourself. They might be someone who represents success, happiness, or a lifestyle you admire. Your subconscious could be fixating on them because they symbolize something you want to manifest in your own life. These thoughts are not necessarily about the person as an individual, but about the reflection of your own desires and goals. This is a subtle form of aspiration, where the person becomes a mirror for your own hopes and dreams. The frequent appearance of this person in your thoughts is your mind's way of drawing your attention to something you wish to bring into your own life. In addition, the mind often fixates on someone who serves as a reminder of an emotional need or wound that has not yet been fully healed. If you experience a sense of abandonment, neglect, or emotional loss, the person who occupies your thoughts may symbolize that unmet need. It's as if your subconscious is trying to fill the void created by this emotional gap, bringing this person to the forefront of your mind to reflect the pain or desire that still exists. The thought of them may bring up feelings of loneliness, rejection, or inadequacy, but these feelings are also clues. They point to a deeper emotional issue that needs attention. These feelings are not about the person themselves, they are about the pain within you that is yet to be addressed or healed. Understanding this is crucial as it empowers you to focus on your own healing process rather than trying to resolve the issue with the person who is occupying your thoughts. The mind can fixate on someone due to an ongoing mental or emotional connection that hasn't been fully severed. This can happen when there are strong ties, whether emotional, spiritual, or psychological, that bind you to the person. These connections don't simply disappear once a relationship ends, and they can persist for months, even years. The subconscious mind doesn't easily forget the people with whom we've had significant emotional exchanges, and as a result, thoughts about them can linger, even after the relationship itself has ended. This connection may be tied to unresolved emotions, unfinished conversations, or even unspoken love. The thoughts of this person may be a way for your mind to hold onto a sense of attachment, even if that attachment is no longer serving you. It could also be a reminder that there is something left unsaid, something that your mind is trying to process. The reason why someone is always on your mind is deeply rooted in the emotional and psychological dynamics of your life. The person who occupies your thoughts represents more than just an individual. They are often a reflection of your own desires, unresolved issues, emotional wounds, or aspirations. Their frequent appearance in your thoughts can serve as a guide to understanding what you need to address within yourself. It's an invitation to explore your feelings, heal emotional wounds, and come to terms with the aspects of your life that need closure or resolution. By recognizing the deeper emotional and psychological significance of these thoughts, you can take the necessary steps toward healing, self-awareness, and emotional growth. When someone is consistently on your mind, it's easy to dismiss these thoughts as fleeting or unimportant. However, these recurring thoughts may indicate a deeper, more profound connection, whether emotional, mental, or spiritual. Sometimes these thoughts can seem inexplicable, occurring at random moments and often leaving you questioning why they persist. The truth is, these thoughts are not mere coincidences. They reflect significant underlying emotional needs, unresolved conflicts, and even personal growth opportunities that the mind is signaling to you. This deeper connection often coming from the subconscious, is the mind's way of guiding you to face unresolved issues, unmet needs, or personal growth that is yet to be addressed. At times, when you find yourself thinking about someone who seems to come in and out of your life, these thoughts may indicate that there's an unresolved issue or emotional energy attached to this person. The mind doesn't fixate on people for no reason. There's a reason they appear in your thoughts time and again, even when they may not be actively part of your life anymore. This person, whether someone you've been close to or someone you had a negative experience with, can serve as a symbol for something larger in your life. If these thoughts cause you discomfort, they may highlight a lingering emotional wound, something unhealed from the past that continues to impact your emotional well-being. On the other hand, if thinking about this person brings you comfort or joy, they might represent a part of yourself that you're longing to reconnect with, a quality you admire or wish to cultivate in your own life. The subconscious mind is very clever in how it operates. When someone occupies your thoughts consistently, it may be because the brain has not yet fully processed the emotional significance of that person or situation. Whether it's someone you've loved, been hurt by, or even admired from a distance, the recurring thoughts are a sign that there's still emotional energy tied to them. These thoughts could be related to a feeling of longing for the connection you once had, or perhaps a deep desire for closure if the relationship ended abruptly or poorly. Relationships, whether positive or negative, leave emotional imprints, and the mind naturally seeks to make sense of and integrate these imprints. If you have unresolved feelings, the mind will often bring this person to the forefront of your thoughts, urging you to confront what has been left unsaid or undone. It's essential to recognize that these persistent thoughts aren't always about the person themselves. Often the person you think about is a representation of something within you. For example, they might embody qualities that you admire or wish to develop within yourself: strength, confidence, kindness, or even qualities you see as lacking in your own life. If this person represents a sense of accomplishment or success, your thoughts about them might be a reflection of your own unmet aspirations. Your mind could be signaling you that there are goals you need to pursue or traits you need to cultivate in order to feel more fulfilled or aligned with your true self. In this case, the person is less of a literal figure and more of a mirror to your own desires, fears, and ambitions. The person who repeatedly enters your thoughts might also be bringing to the surface aspects of your emotional state that require healing. Perhaps this person reminds you of unresolved traumas or past pains that you have buried or tried to forget. These emotional scars can be triggered by their presence in your mind, even if they are not actively part of your current reality. The mind does not forget pain easily. And when someone who has caused you emotional distress reappears in your thoughts, it may be your subconscious mind's attempt to process and heal that pain. The mind works in cycles, and sometimes it will bring a person back into your thoughts as a way to help you deal with past trauma or emotional hurt that you haven't fully worked through. The key is to understand that this is an opportunity for growth, a chance for you to confront old wounds and begin the healing process. On the other hand, thinking about someone could also indicate that you are subconsciously still connected to them. This connection could be spiritual, emotional, or even mental, and it might reflect the bond you still feel despite the distance or time between you. Sometimes the mind holds onto relationships for longer than we consciously acknowledge. These connections don't necessarily fade quickly, and when they're meaningful, they tend to linger in the subconscious. If you find that someone is always on your mind, it could be because there's still an unresolved attachment. The thought of them may arise when you feel emotionally vulnerable or when you're facing a challenge in your life that reminds you of them in some way. This connection may serve as a reminder of the strength or support they once offered, or it may bring to light something you still desire to understand or resolve about the relationship. In some instances, the thoughts you experience about someone are a reflection of your own personal growth or a need for self-reflection. When someone is constantly on your mind, it can signify that you're at a crossroads or entering a phase of change in your life. This person may appear in your thoughts as a symbolic representation of the lessons you need to learn or the person you need to become in order to evolve. The mind often uses others as symbols to help us understand our own internal state. If this person represents a certain type of strength, wisdom, or emotional balance that you feel is lacking in your own life, their constant appearance in your thoughts may be a signal to examine what qualities you need to develop to become the best version of yourself. It's not always about the other person. Sometimes they're simply a reflection of the growth you need to undergo in your own life. In a broader sense, the persistent appearance of someone in your thoughts can be a way for your subconscious to guide you toward making necessary changes in your life. Whether it's moving on from a past relationship, healing from past wounds, or identifying what you truly want in future connections, these thoughts serve as a form of internal communication. They often arise when there's something that needs to be acknowledged, processed, or addressed. By paying attention to these recurring thoughts and exploring the feelings associated with them, you can uncover the deeper emotional truths that they represent. These thoughts are not random. They are clues about your emotional, psychological, and spiritual state. And by confronting them, you can better understand yourself and take meaningful steps toward healing, growth, and personal transformation.